let's fast forward 5 years. Where do you think Iran is at that point? Some people are saying, yeah, topple the religious leader, but now you're going to have, the Republican Guard guys come in. It could be worse. And that's probably what's going to happen next. I listened to a really interesting commentary the other day on, I'm watching too much Bannon's War Room, where the guy said, it's usually, unfortunately, the power player that takes the reins. It's not the people's uprising with this benevolence. It's actually usually a strong man that comes in and replaces that. So what do you think happens? I mean, obviously we want to see Abraham Accords signed by everybody, kumbaya, the whole region gets along. I mean, I think a lot of people want that. We see signs of that already in the region, but what do you think is going to happen?
It's hard to make those predictions for sure. The next few months and years are going to kind of define what happens next. I don't think we're any closer to the Abraham Accords between Saudi Arabia and Israel.
Really?
Saudi Arabia is probably very happy that Iran's been knocked back, but people forget that Iran is also the breadbasket to the Middle East. So the Middle East needs the Hormuz Strait to get their oil out, and Iran controls 50% of that. Almost all of your fresh food all across the Middle East comes from Iran. So Iran can quickly put a vice grip on all of America's closest allies in the Middle East and just funnel all of their energy and food up to Russia and China, right? They can easily switch and bring great pain across the Middle East. If they did that, because of Israel and US actions, that's going to put a serious damper in the Middle East supporting Israel through the Abraham Accords. But we have yet to decide exactly how Iran's going to move next.
Investment Club. Today, I consider it the best investment that I've ever made. We get 4 projects presented a week by their associated CEOs. Personally, I'm completely blown away by the quality of these projects, and I know of nowhere else where I would be given this same opportunity. Each week that passes, I feel more appreciative of the fact that I'm a member of this group. The vibe was just tremendous. Everybody's on the same wavelength. We just clicked. Everybody listened to each other, enjoyed their company. It was just magical. Take action. Don't take my word for it. Due diligence you need to do. And I really hope that someday down the road I see you in the club. It far exceeded expectations, without question.
What's it look like in 5 years? There's reason to believe that there could be a regime change, but that doesn't necessarily, like you said, mean it's going to be a good regime change.
Yeah.
If there's anything the US learned in our 20 years that we lost in a global war on terror, it's that when you cut the head off of a fucking hydra, 2 nasty heads grow in its place. So what nasty heads are going to grow if the Ayatollah comes down?
Yeah.
And there's no reason to believe that they're going to become wonderfully democratic. If anything, they elected a democratic president on their fucking own a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and we just completely disregarded that. So there, internally, you can understand how the Iranian people, not the Iranian regime, but the Iranian people are going to start seeing for themselves a narrative that they believe is that the West is trying to oppress us. Russia went from being a paper tiger to being a strong and flourishing economy. Not a stable economy, but a flourishing wartime economy. And now everything we did to try to make Putin look bad has worked against us. So why would we believe that everything we do to try to make the Ayatollah look bad is somehow going to work against us too?
Plus they have their own media, the internet shuts down, they got their state-sponsored stuff, and they've been brainwashed for a long time. It's hard to undo that, and that hatred for America has been taught since they're little kids. It's hard to undo that, isn't it?
And not only that, but it's beyond. Hatred for America used to be very easy, and I would argue as an American who's traveled the world, there are no friends to the United States. The United States has people who are conveniently friends with us, but as soon as we're not convenient to them, they're going to move on and be conveniently friends with somebody else. And that's just survival instinct, that's just human nature. But on top of that, the question is, it's bigger than America, it's become the question of democracy, right? Democracies are being on shaky ground all through Europe, through the United States, through the Five Eyes, right? People can't seem to agree, they can't seem to come to negotiating tables. So all these authoritarian or strongman regimes, the people within those strongman regimes are watching as strongmen take over democracies, right? Trump is just a strongman. He has more authoritarian techniques than he does political democratic techniques. But the same thing is true, in Portugal, the same thing is true in France and Germany right now, the same thing is true in some of the biggest democracies. South Korea has a president that's, being reviewed for impeachment. The Philippines has a vice president who's trying to go through a legal process to become president instead of go to jail. I mean, come on, Netanyahu is on charges for corruption. You've got the most talked about democracies of the world are failing. Not failing critically, but failing enough that the rest of the world has to be asking themselves, like, is democracy really what it is trumped up to be?
Yeah, I spend now 6 months a year in Dubai, and I ask that question every day, because here's something that functions incredibly with I would say a benevolent strongman leader, a strong family with like a 100-year vision for this country that delivers. And they make Western democracies look like a joke. When I come back to London, I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
This is a city and a continent in decline, and there's no turning it around. There will be no Trump of the UK. There will be no Trump of the Europe, I don't believe. America kind of got that. We'll see where this goes. But you can't make this argument anymore that democracy is the best for everyone. I never believed that anyways. But you're right. It's now the narrative that's of question right now. And some people are really showing that you don't need that democracy.
And think about it, even just 10 years ago.
Yeah.
10 years ago, people would just blindly say democracy is the best.
Yeah.
20 years ago, we were still trying to forcibly drive countries to adopt democracy. Democracy's a few hundred years old.
Yeah.
Right? And democracy didn't serve Rome. So, what is really going to be the government of the future? And that's why I think it's such an exciting time where we are right now, because we are literally watching as technology and education and the reach of information expand, and this idea of democratic equality shrinks, right? We've got huge socioeconomic divides, huge political divides. It's a very small part of the population that makes a very large impact. And we're all realizing that. And it's making it so that even young people who have predominantly been the progressive liberal voices of the world, even young people are saying, well, fuck that. Like, I'd rather be one of the few that's rich rather than one of the many that's poor in pursuit of equality or democracy.
And that's going to get even more polarized with artificial intelligence, I believe.
Absolutely.
The people at the top are going to use that to get even more power and wealth, and the people at the bottom are going to get less and less opportunities.
People who adopt AI are going to use it for innovation and opportunity. People who delay the adoption of AI are going to be left behind. And then you've got the people who are going to try to adopt AI partially for reasons that somebody else has come up with, and they're going to never break out of a certain level of wealth or capability.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.